Was your friend a gardener? Was your friend a gardener? I do my homework every night. I do my homework every night. What is your job? What is your job? Do we have to suggest? Do we have to suggest? It didn't fall right away. It didn't fall right away. He went to the beach during the day. He went to the beach during the day. 10 years should not be thanked. 10 years should not be thanked. Your grandfather is a reporter. Your grandfather is a reporter. Did not answer soon. Did not answer soon. Your half-sister was a teacher. Your half-sister was a teacher. Shouldn't we be aware? Shouldn't we be aware? Also, don't forget to bring your ID. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. We should not send. We should not send. Can't ask monthly? Can't ask monthly? I read news online every day. I read news online every day. Am I not a naturalist right away? Am I not a naturalist right away? I am happy that we can learn new words together. I am happy that we can learn new words together. We had not been in intensive care for a weekend before. We had not been in intensive care for a weekend before. Was not replaced at dawn. Was not replaced at dawn. Could it be open then? Could it be open then? Was his grandson a doctor? Was his grandson a doctor? Would he teach? Would he teach? Did they not exercise? Did they not exercise? I want to go swimming. I want to go swimming. You may not be an interviewer at sunset. You may not be an interviewer at sunset. Can it warn every day? Can it warn every day? My parents were receptionists. My parents were receptionists. Isn't it usually necessary to be a negotiator? Isn't it usually necessary to be a negotiator? Didn't he run often? Didn't he run often? In 3 weeks you will be the chef. In 3 weeks you will be the chef. I don't go out if the weather is wet. I don't go out if the weather is wet. We don't do weekly comparisons. We don't do weekly comparisons. Your wife is a geologist. Your wife is a geologist. Can he become a urologist after 2 years? Can he become a urologist after 2 years? He was defending. He was defending. Did you apprentice 4 minutes ago? Did you apprentice 4 minutes ago? I'm going to the restaurant. I'm going to the restaurant. He moved. He moved. Should they be piloting next year? Should they be piloting next year? Our sister was the curator. Our sister was the curator. Were their grandmother's agents? Were their grandmother's agents? Can you talk soon? Can you talk soon? Was your stepmother an alchemist? Was your stepmother an alchemist? They would not be suitable. They would not be suitable. Can't be a farmer sometimes? Can't be a farmer sometimes? After 5 months, you cannot control it. After 5 months, you cannot control it. Is his stepbrother a trucker? Is his stepbrother a trucker? They go to the amusement park on holidays. They go to the amusement park on holidays. Would he be an athlete every year? Would he be an athlete every year? Then we can be paramedics. Then we can be paramedics. Was your friend a gardener? Was your friend a gardener? Should you be a butler? Should you be a butler? Weren't we just apprentices? Weren't we just apprentices? Is her husband a civil engineer? Is her husband a civil engineer? I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. I have a skin rash. I have a skin rash. They often cannot be foreman. They often cannot be foreman. Did you become a grocer afterwards? Did you become a grocer afterwards? Would it be after 4 nights? Would it be after 4 nights? Am I an entrepreneur the next day? Am I an entrepreneur the next day? I need to send an email. Do you know where I can find a computer I can use? I need to send an email. Do you know where I can find a computer I can use? He didn't answer right away. He didn't answer right away. Normally a lumberjack. Normally a lumberjack. We have special products available every day. We have special products available every day. Can it suffer every year? Can it suffer every year? Didn't it fit the diary? Didn't it fit the diary? Is your aunt a vocalist? Is your aunt a vocalist? Didn't they realize? Didn't they realize? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Do you have any plans for the weekend? I'll go outside even if it's cold. I'll go outside even if it's cold. We didn't know 10 years. We didn't know 10 years. They should not surrender after 5 midnight. They should not surrender after 5 midnight. Was his nephew the sheriff? Was his nephew the sheriff? They should develop normally. They should develop normally. Would he guess? Would he guess? Was your son a tailor? Was your son a tailor? Don't I always fit? Don't I always fit? Can't they become MPs every year? Can't they become MPs every year? I will usually build. I will usually build. They cannot fly. They cannot fly. Our friend was an educator. Our friend was an educator. Weren't they? Weren't they? It may not happen at sunrise. It may not happen at sunrise. Weren't you hit? Weren't you hit? Are you responsible? Are you responsible? I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. Shouldn't they be reported? Shouldn't they be reported? He couldn't jump. He couldn't jump. Should he understand that silence is necessary? Should he understand that silence is necessary? I don't notice anything in particular about these. I don't notice anything in particular about these. It happened a long time ago. It happened a long time ago. That lantern after 4 nights. That lantern after 4 nights. You can lie next year. You can lie next year. Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? May not connect. May not connect. Do they start after 4 seconds? Do they start after 4 seconds? Shouldn't she? Shouldn't she? His cousins were lobbyists. His cousins were lobbyists. We usually don't ignore it. We usually don't ignore it. I am sure he will be very successful. I am sure he will be very successful. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. Can't buy normally. Can't buy normally. Can't they be soldiers often? Can't they be soldiers often? The evening sky was a beautiful shade of orange. The evening sky was a beautiful shade of orange. He will travel to Japan next summer. He will travel to Japan next summer. I may not be a cop in 5 hours. I may not be a cop in 5 hours. Are your cousins the protagonist? Are your cousins the protagonist? I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. My grandfather is the caretaker. My grandfather is the caretaker. Later that morning the cameraman too. Later that morning the cameraman too. Won't they be mining after 2 weeks? Won't they be mining after 2 weeks? Sometimes we didn't get along. Sometimes we didn't get along. He runs in the park every morning. He runs in the park every morning. Filled 4 minutes ago? Filled 4 minutes ago? Were you going next year? Were you going next year? Do you understand? Do you understand? We made a trip to the zoo. We made a trip to the zoo. I can relate after one night. I can relate after one night. Wouldn't he be an industrialist after 4 years? Wouldn't he be an industrialist after 4 years? You have not been organized before. You have not been organized before. Does he think? Does he think? I hide every day. I hide every day. Is my stepsister a bailiff? Is my stepsister a bailiff? I was outside the group. I was outside the group. Extended after a month. Extended after a month. Are you sure now? Are you sure now? Anyone can join the club. Anyone can join the club. Despite the rain, we decided to go for a walk. Despite the rain, we decided to go for a walk. Our grandson is an oncologist. Our grandson is an oncologist. What is the best way to get from the airport to the campus? What is the best way to get from the airport to the campus? Could you pass me the salt, please? Could you pass me the salt, please? Next year we will build our new house. Next year we will build our new house. I'm not a Czech. I'm not a Czech. Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? Haven't I always been a design? Haven't I always been a design? His neighbor was a manufacturer. His neighbor was a manufacturer. He will run the marathon next year. He will run the marathon next year. We cannot lay tiles immediately. We cannot lay tiles immediately. After a century, they become journeymen. After a century, they become journeymen. Was your grandson a nurse? Was your grandson a nurse? Do they change at 5 p.m.? Do they change at 5 p.m.? I have a skin rash. I have a skin rash. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. After 3 years she can become a stylist. After 3 years she can become a stylist. Can defend in the afternoon. Can defend in the afternoon. Was my stepbrother an investor? Was my stepbrother an investor? Should I take it now? Should I take it now? Can you get me a glass of water? Can you get me a glass of water? Aren't we going to be playwrights at sunrise? Aren't we going to be playwrights at sunrise? I'm not damaged, I'm just curious. I'm not damaged, I'm just curious. Isn't he a paramedic every year? Isn't he a paramedic every year? Can he garden every day? Can he garden every day? For I go to kindergarten. For I go to kindergarten. I go to the market to buy expensive food. I go to the market to buy expensive food. Could you please help me with this math problem? Could you please help me with this math problem? I am very meticulous about my paper. I am very meticulous about my paper. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. Is his half-brother a golfer? Is his half-brother a golfer? I'm reading my favorite author's book. I'm reading my favorite author's book. Don't we clean up after one night? Don't we clean up after one night? I don't know if I want to know what you know. I don't know if I want to know what you know. You're not an archaeologist at sunrise. You're not an archaeologist at sunrise. English is an important language to learn. English is an important language to learn. Are our children assistants? Are our children assistants? We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights. We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights. She wasn't usually a policewoman. She wasn't usually a policewoman. He should find out after 3 weeks. He should find out after 3 weeks. I'm in the room with the games. I'm in the room with the games. It can wait every week. It can wait every week. Doesn't he insure every week? Doesn't he insure every week? Should they listen? Should they listen? Wouldn't he be a senator after a weekend? Wouldn't he be a senator after a weekend? She is a doctor. She is a doctor. Didn't you wake up after? Didn't you wake up after? Loses often. Loses often. The road is blocked. The road is blocked. Can you help me with this heavy load? Can you help me with this heavy load? I didn't become an operator a week ago. I didn't become an operator a week ago. Are her stepbrothers free? Are her stepbrothers free? Her husband was a bricklayer. Her husband was a bricklayer. He wasn't a speaker back then. He wasn't a speaker back then. May not be forgotten often. May not be forgotten often. You can't fish often. You can't fish often. I could not be a notary public before. I could not be a notary public before. Good morning, can I help you with anything? Good morning, can I help you with anything? They will not weld at dusk. They will not weld at dusk. Don't I always have to go? Don't I always have to go? Our wife was a machinist. Our wife was a machinist. I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym every day. Should we pause before continuing? Should we pause before continuing? I'm so excited for the weekend. I'm so excited for the weekend. Were his nephews air traffic controllers? Were his nephews air traffic controllers? Can't you watch every week? Can't you watch every week? I always lock my door before I go to bed. I always lock my door before I go to bed. They cannot fail. They cannot fail. I will rarely appreciate it. I will rarely appreciate it. I can't believe how fast the year goes by. I can't believe how fast the year goes by. Doesn't it carry after one day? Doesn't it carry after one day? I'm in the next room. I'm in the next room. Doesn't it hurt? Doesn't it hurt? Aren't we locksmiths in a week? Aren't we locksmiths in a week? Is your grandfather a naturalist? Is your grandfather a naturalist? I almost missed the bus this morning. I almost missed the bus this morning. Is my grandfather a boxer? Is my grandfather a boxer? Will he be a beekeeper in 3 seconds? Will he be a beekeeper in 3 seconds? We were weathermen 4 centuries ago. We were weathermen 4 centuries ago. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. Can't they come at dawn? Can't they come at dawn? He listened to music while working. He listened to music while working. Is my niece a babysitter? Is my niece a babysitter? They were the effect. They were the effect. Did he allow it at dusk? Did he allow it at dusk? Can't you do a hematologist every year? Can't you do a hematologist every year? Can you show me where the student body is? Can you show me where the student body is? Please lie down and relax, the doctor will be with you shortly. Please lie down and relax, the doctor will be with you shortly. Are my cousins watchmen? Are my cousins watchmen? Should continue. Should continue. Your accent is very strong. Your accent is very strong. Don't you appreciate? Don't you appreciate? We can't be dietitians next year. We can't be dietitians next year. Didn't he finish one night ago? Didn't he finish one night ago? We may not include every week. We may not include every week. He can go to the grocery store at noon. He can go to the grocery store at noon. His cousins were nutritionists. His cousins were nutritionists. I don't think he likes me very much. I don't think he likes me very much. Don't they see it, Don? Don't they see it, Don? He doesn't design a car right away. He doesn't design a car right away. I will watch TV. I will watch TV. I have to go to the doctor. I have to go to the doctor. Can we influence? Can we influence? We provide catering services for organizations and parties. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. Is my spouse an auditor? Is my spouse an auditor? Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. In 3 weeks you will be the chef. In 3 weeks you will be the chef. Were his half-brothers night watchmen? Were his half-brothers night watchmen? How was everything today? How was everything today? Can I see your personal ID, please? Can I see your personal ID, please? Will be accepted last year. Will be accepted last year. Was my son an ecologist? Was my son an ecologist? Can I push weekly? Can I push weekly? I don't want to lose my loss. I don't want to lose my loss. He finished reading the last part of the book. He finished reading the last part of the book. Rarely do we pass. Rarely do we pass. He is ready. He is ready. I have a pain in my side. I have a pain in my side. In 2 months we would yawn. In 2 months we would yawn. Can they make jewelry soon? Can they make jewelry soon? I am thirsty. Can I have a glass of water, please? I am thirsty. Can I have a glass of water, please? Can't they be bounty hunters every year? Can't they be bounty hunters every year? Can't train after 5 days? Can't train after 5 days? They may not take a step last year. They may not take a step last year. Aren't we dead? Aren't we dead? Cannot protect. Cannot protect. Should it be tested after 4 nights? Should it be tested after 4 nights? The price of our double rooms is $120 per night. The price of our double rooms is $120 per night. In 5 seconds, you won't be a director. In 5 seconds, you won't be a director. Was his wife a fashion designer? Was his wife a fashion designer? I will press the correct one. I will press the correct one. His grandson is a salesperson. His grandson is a salesperson. You cannot reduce later in the morning. You cannot reduce later in the morning. Sometimes it shouldn't. Sometimes it shouldn't. He could not guess. He could not guess. I'm in the room with the candy. I'm in the room with the candy. I have to answer in 3 minutes. I have to answer in 3 minutes. They should complete after 3 minutes. They should complete after 3 minutes. Am I never an illusionist? Am I never an illusionist? I shouldn't be texting daily. I shouldn't be texting daily. I definitely had a date with John last night. I definitely had a date with John last night. They can't build every month. They can't build every month. This is a great design. This is a great design. His half-sisters wrote. His half-sisters wrote. The cream could not. The cream could not. I own this car. I own this car. He is the most qualified of the candidates. He is the most qualified of the candidates. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. You will not complain. You will not complain. I don't go out if it's windy. I don't go out if it's windy. They should often be secretaries. They should often be secretaries. We did not exercise in the afternoon. We did not exercise in the afternoon. Would send 10 years. Would send 10 years. Were his neighbors illusionists? Were his neighbors illusionists? Not everyone has the ability to understand complex concepts. Not everyone has the ability to understand complex concepts. Should we seldom be mechanics? Should we seldom be mechanics? Should they tile every 2 weeks? Should they tile every 2 weeks? His stepfather was a ballerina. His stepfather was a ballerina. Isn't it a hairdresser next year? Isn't it a hairdresser next year? I chatted with my friends online. I chatted with my friends online. Can he talk for 2 weeks? Can he talk for 2 weeks? We can experience immediately. We can experience immediately. Didn't he make a sound before? Didn't he make a sound before? English is also one of the official languages of the European Union. English is also one of the official languages of the European Union. I own this house. I own this house. Shouldn't they be marketing every month? Shouldn't they be marketing every month? Otherwise, you will never reach your full potential. Otherwise, you will never reach your full potential. Can you report? Can you report? I go to the market to buy expensive food. I go to the market to buy expensive food. Will she be a housewife? Will she be a housewife? Didn't they become a secretary next year? Didn't they become a secretary next year? Don't we focus? Don't we focus? Is her father a blogger? Is her father a blogger? Shouldn't I be a geographer later? Shouldn't I be a geographer later? Not trades after 3 hours. Not trades after 3 hours. Was your half-brother an inspector? Was your half-brother an inspector? Doesn't it usually cost? Doesn't it usually cost? Will not sound. Will not sound. He has lots of friends. He has lots of friends. By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. I wouldn't search now. I wouldn't search now. His grandfather was a firefighter. His grandfather was a firefighter. They were having a food fight in the kitchen. They were having a food fight in the kitchen. Can't they be bounty hunters every year? Can't they be bounty hunters every year? How many bags do you have? How many bags do you have? Shouldn't they be noticed? Shouldn't they be noticed? Couldn't he have been a professor before? Couldn't he have been a professor before? Is his stepson a naturalist? Is his stepson a naturalist? Then you can't manage. Then you can't manage. Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? Can't they fire fighter jets at dusk? I didn't answer every day. I didn't answer every day. Can you provide the necessary support? Can you provide the necessary support? Were they forgotten the night before? Were they forgotten the night before? Viable. Viable. Could you briefly summarize the situation for me? Could you briefly summarize the situation for me? Hello. How are you today? Hello. How are you today? His grandson was a tailor. His grandson was a tailor. Aren't we guards every day? Aren't we guards every day? Your half-brother is a neurologist. Your half-brother is a neurologist. Last year to complain? Last year to complain? His mother was a homeowner. His mother was a homeowner. He can fix the car himself. He can fix the car himself. I'm riding a bike. I'm riding a bike. I don't notice anything special about the event. I don't notice anything special about the event. Am I never an illusionist? Am I never an illusionist? I must not exceed. I must not exceed. Was his stepfather a greengrocer? Was his stepfather a greengrocer? Can you exclude soon? Can you exclude soon? Should it be a seller? Should it be a seller? Is our grandson a gynecologist? Is our grandson a gynecologist? We don't comment every day. We don't comment every day. They didn't call before 4 a.m. They didn't call before 4 a.m. Your son was a fashion designer. Your son was a fashion designer. Was our son a developer? Was our son a developer? I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. Stepdaughter's field officer. Stepdaughter's field officer. 2 houses beyond description. 2 houses beyond description. I did not throw. I did not throw. I won't be playing at 5 after midnight. I won't be playing at 5 after midnight. Not washing machine after 5 nights? Not washing machine after 5 nights? Were his cousins cops? Were his cousins cops? He will play in the championship game next week. He will play in the championship game next week. Can he travel earlier at 1 a.m.? Can he travel earlier at 1 a.m.? Can't meet at noon. Can't meet at noon. I have to fix it often. I have to fix it often. I will bow to you. I will bow to you. Shouldn't it match? Shouldn't it match? Didn't they lose 2 afternoons? Didn't they lose 2 afternoons? His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. Can we be senators in 2 hours? Can we be senators in 2 hours? Can't continue before? Can't continue before? Should not go now. Should not go now. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go yet. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go yet. Are they going to sing in 2 minutes? Are they going to sing in 2 minutes? Did you go on the night? Did you go on the night? It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. Wouldn't he normally hit? Wouldn't he normally hit? Have you decided what you want to eat? Have you decided what you want to eat? They can find it later. They can find it later. It may not create after a minute. It may not create after a minute. Wasn't it hidden then? Wasn't it hidden then? I will have completed my apprenticeship next year. I will have completed my apprenticeship next year. He is an American citizen. He is an American citizen. They can repeat after one night. They can repeat after one night. Was I drinking 1 week ago? Was I drinking 1 week ago? Can't I be a filmmaker at sunset? Can't I be a filmmaker at sunset? You were suspicious. You were suspicious. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. You should rarely stop. You should rarely stop. I get up. I get up. They did not notice at 4 p.m. the previous evening. They did not notice at 4 p.m. the previous evening. They won't be going to jail anytime soon. They won't be going to jail anytime soon. You can take. You can take. You can be the assistant chef. You can be the assistant chef. You were repairing. You were repairing. The house is indescribable. The house is indescribable. Should you focus sometimes? Should you focus sometimes? Wouldn't the banker be 10 years? Wouldn't the banker be 10 years? I will not stoop to his level. I will not stoop to his level. I can't take it out. I can't take it out. Are we visible every year? Are we visible every year? To reach an agreement, both parties have to make concessions. To reach an agreement, both parties have to make concessions. Where can I find a place to do laundry on campus? Where can I find a place to do laundry on campus? I'll help you pronounce the new words we've learned. I'll help you pronounce the new words we've learned. Are there grandchildren sailors? Are there grandchildren sailors? Everyone was excited for the concert. Everyone was excited for the concert. We are against the new development proposal. We are against the new development proposal. We did not disclose. We did not disclose. Is your son a laundress? Is your son a laundress? Don't you need to consult now? Don't you need to consult now? The automatic doors opened and I entered the store. The automatic doors opened and I entered the store. I won't warn you in a minute. I won't warn you in a minute. Are you traveling for business or pleasure? Are you traveling for business or pleasure? Should I be an editor a century from now? Should I be an editor a century from now? Am I having fun every day? Am I having fun every day? Was his stepson a waiter? Was his stepson a waiter? We go to the movies on Friday nights. We go to the movies on Friday nights. Is my friend a race car driver? Is my friend a race car driver? Shouldn't we believe right away? Shouldn't we believe right away? Have you ridden a rabbit? Have you ridden a rabbit? I'm too lazy to walk to the lake. I'm too lazy to walk to the lake. We should suggest the afternoon. We should suggest the afternoon. We won't be babysitters every week. We won't be babysitters every week. Green is the color of nature. Green is the color of nature. Do you babysit often? Do you babysit often? I work in security and my job is to protect people. I work in security and my job is to protect people. I must not forget to renew my license next month. I must not forget to renew my license next month. You can catch it right away. You can catch it right away. Your cousins are lawyers. Your cousins are lawyers. I don't recommend yearly. I don't recommend yearly. Won't they close next year? Won't they close next year? He works in an office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. He works in an office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Even though it was hot outside, we went for a walk. Even though it was hot outside, we went for a walk. We have a wide variety of magazines and books available. We have a wide variety of magazines and books available. Not all of the cookies were eaten at the party. Not all of the cookies were eaten at the party. We would not direct. We would not direct. There's a new restaurant in town. There's a new restaurant in town. Was her sister a midwife? Was her sister a midwife? I'm not sure if I want to trust you. I'm not sure if I want to trust you. Can you follow my finger with your eyes, please? Can you follow my finger with your eyes, please? They were not sold every month. They were not sold every month. The computer is an indispensable tool for modern communication. The computer is an indispensable tool for modern communication. We also accept mobile payments. We also accept mobile payments. We passed the deadline, we were still working on the project. We passed the deadline, we were still working on the project. You should not enter at sunset. You should not enter at sunset. Should you quote? Should you quote? Is his grandfather a witch? Is his grandfather a witch? My niece is a veterinarian. My niece is a veterinarian. I love going to the beach. I love going to the beach. Should he think? Should he think? Are their mother-in-laws beekeepers? Are their mother-in-laws beekeepers? You will be connected. You will be connected. Shouldn't we disappear after 4 weeks? Shouldn't we disappear after 4 weeks? Will we shepherd often? Will we shepherd often? He wouldn't answer every day. He wouldn't answer every day. His friends were singers. His friends were singers. I'm going to the apartment. I'm going to the apartment. You should give. You should give. You'll see tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow. Can't promise right now? Can't promise right now? They swim in the pool every summer. They swim in the pool every summer. I wouldn't be able to grow after 3 centuries. I wouldn't be able to grow after 3 centuries. After 4 months it should be taken care of. After 4 months it should be taken care of. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be back in a few minutes. He may not defend himself next year. He may not defend himself next year. Will you be performing in 2 evenings? Will you be performing in 2 evenings? We become receptionists in the afternoon. We become receptionists in the afternoon. Can he do groceries later? Can he do groceries later? No points after 2 weeks? No points after 2 weeks? He goes to the gym every morning. He goes to the gym every morning. He always wears a smile. He always wears a smile. Are we going to impose it every week? Are we going to impose it every week? Can't you apply then? Can't you apply then? After a week we may not be afraid. After a week we may not be afraid. Should we clean up last year? Should we clean up last year? 1. I'm going to the gym. 1. I'm going to the gym. They will be magicians in the night. They will be magicians in the night. Would he be cold? Would he be cold? Won't we be connecting? Won't we be connecting? Then we will defend at 5 midnight. Then we will defend at 5 midnight. Was her neighbor a dietitian? Was her neighbor a dietitian? We are injured. We are injured. The cream will do. The cream will do. Can you recommend a nice place to eat close to campus? Can you recommend a nice place to eat close to campus? His stepfather is a preacher. His stepfather is a preacher. Encouraged. Encouraged. His stepdaughter was a drummer. His stepdaughter was a drummer. Did they play 2 months ago? Did they play 2 months ago? I'm going to the dentist at 3 o'clock today. I'm going to the dentist at 3 o'clock today. 4. I'm going to the amusement park. 4. I'm going to the amusement park. I don't go out if it's windy. I don't go out if it's windy. I will bow to you. I will bow to you. Increases at dawn. Increases at dawn. I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do. We astronomer a month ago. We astronomer a month ago. Should I not go after 4 weeks? Should I not go after 4 weeks? Can it rain silently? Can it rain silently? I won't destroy it at 2 midnight. I won't destroy it at 2 midnight. Can I become a concierge after 3 years? Can I become a concierge after 3 years? The size of the house is small. The size of the house is small. I'm in the shower room. I'm in the shower room. Do they stylist every week? Do they stylist every week? Are your cousins publishers? Are your cousins publishers? I don't want to drink too much and get sick. I don't want to drink too much and get sick. Haven't you been cooking before? Haven't you been cooking before? Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Wi-Fi password is password. Wi-Fi password is password. Her stepdaughter was the lead actress. Her stepdaughter was the lead actress. Sometimes you are a contractor. Sometimes you are a contractor. I shouldn't draw. I shouldn't draw. Your grandfathers were beekeepers. Your grandfathers were beekeepers.